So let's talk about values. Now this is a very potent part of the page, and it's a part of the page which a lot of people think could be fluffy, and believe me, it's not fluffy. For me, values are a sackable offence. So let's get straight to the point here and define what values are. Now values are done out there in many different guises. If you look at the likes of John DeMartini, he does values in a different way, which is about what we value in life, which by the way is an incredible exercise, and anybody I would recommend to go and do that. However, in the context of BGI, we talk about values in a different way. This is more like behaviors, our expectations, our attitudes within the business environment we're working within. The reason I still call it values is it comes out of a corporate context, and I think a lot of people still link values to the way we describe it within the business world. So you can call it what you like. I don't care if you call it an aardvark. Just understand the concept we're trying to make. Now, let's understand what values are and how we get to them. We get to them very quickly. Who has peeved you in business? Who has got on your nerves in business? It's those people. If you can flip that, and who have you fired? If you're a CEO or business leader watching this, you probably had to fire someone. I've had to fire more people than I'd care to remember. But every single one of those, the reason, fundamental reason, was because it was across the values. Go there, flip it around, and you'll actually work out what your values should be within your business. And when you get it right, it's incredibly powerful. So, if you can define your values and you're clear on your values, well, what do we do with them? Well, first of all, we recruit on them. We make sure everyone in the business is aligned to them, and we recruit our customers on them. Okay? Now, the customers bit's an interesting point. Let me just give you a live example of a company I'm working with at the moment. The company has just fired one of their medium-sized clients. Is bringing in about 10 grand a month, so that's not a small client by any stretch of the imagination. And they fired them because of a clash of values, because they didn't respect the value within the company. They were putting unreasonable demands, and they were just a nuisance to work with. And after defining values and getting clear on where we're at, that company went and fired that client. That was a very proud moment for me working with them, because they finally got what values were. Now, by clearing out that energy of that client, they now have the energy to work on new clients and work with people they want to work with. Life's too short. It comes back to purpose. Why are we in business in the first place? I like to enjoy it. I love what I do. So to be dealing with people I don't want to deal with because they cross my values is pointless to me. So values is incredibly important. So what do you need to do? Well, I would suggest you do a couple of things. One, take a good hard look at your company at the moment. Define what your values are. But then if you've got employees, I would humbly suggest you might need to get rid of one. Typically when I work into companies, there's somebody in the company that we need to get rid of. It's the tough decisions we need to make a business. You need to have everybody in there aligned to values, passionate and doing what they love to do. And if they're not aligned, it's just a question of time whether that's going to become a problem. So, challenge number one for the week. Do you need to get rid of somebody in your own business? And you know what I'm talking about. I do this in CEO forums all the time, and I always get nods around the room, and they know who it is they've got to go and get rid of. And they've just been putting it off. So if you've been putting something off, I suggest you going and do it. Second challenge of the week is, what customers are you going to go and fire? Now, I'm being a bit punchy there, so be careful. It depends on where you're at and what your cash flows are. But if you can analyze the case, usually a few customers are causing you all the hassles. And actually, when you analyze whether or not you can afford to lose those customers, a lot of the times you can. So I would suggest you really look hard on the customers you really don't want to be working with, because if you can get rid of them and get rid of that energy, you will free up the space to be able to work with the people you do want to work with. So that's values. It's a sackable offence, both internally and externally. So go define what your values are and find out who you need to fire.